Though it will not be possible to buy voice tokens, will it be possible to sell or destroy voice tokens in exchange for EOS? Why is it not possible to buy tokens? See, that just confused me again.
Voice tokens?
Yeah.
You gotta earn them.
Oh!
Now, once they've been earned...
You can buy them from someone.
Right. Once they've been earned by a human, you can trade them.
Okay, I got you. Okay, it says here, Dan, sorry for repeating the question. Will I be able to use voice from New York City? Perhaps not able to withdraw or earn any tokens for time being, or just won't get to pass KYC? Makes me mad, to be frank. And Dan responded, I'm mad about New York City too. Don't blame me. What is going to give voice any value if you cannot buy or sell it? And he answered, where they said, why would I want to earn voice if I can't sell it? He said, you can, just no ICO. Here's our answer, right?
That was the big deal.
Right. A comment about Dan founding Steam. He says, yes, but I didn't control it because people were trashing Steam right now, you know. Okay,
Yeah, but he didn't control it, so what does that mean?
It's not his job, right?
Well, wait a minute.
Wait.
What does that infer? Hey, Steam sucks, blah, 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 blah. It's going to hell in a handbasket or something. And he goes, yes, it has, but it's a community that was set up and I didn't control it.
Right.
What does that mean may change with voice? Why would somebody say that? Why would you utter those words?
Well, because everybody's trashing Steam, saying that it's Ned's fault. Ned was the one that was in control.
I don't know who Ned is, but,
Right.
but the bottom line is Dan wasn't in control. So I think it remains to be seen how much more, how's it going to be? Is voice going to be different than Steam, or is it going to go to hell in a handbasket?
I know they're doing KYC, and the only people that are going to have that information is Block 1.
My belief is that it would seem to make sense, like Bill Gates publishes MS-DOS, which, by the way, he didn't invent DOS, right? He copied it from another guy. But
I don't think I did.
Yeah, but DOS disk operating system comes out.
Right.
And people can say, oh, it really sucks. It only has text or whatever. The point is, every iteration, so then he comes out with Windows 3.1 that sits on top of DOS.
Right.
And it makes it a lot better back in the day. Then they come out with Windows 95. It makes it a lot better. And here we are today with the most popular operating system in the whole world, Windows 7 and Windows 10. And by the way, it's Microsoft and whatever, but the point is, every iteration has gotten a lot of new features and gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Maybe Steam
was like version 1.
Yeah. So
Right.
here's voice that's version 2.
Yeah, sorry, yes, so he's learned from that, is what you were getting at.
So complain all you want,
Right.
This is free stuff you get to use.
Right.
Now, did it come out of your paycheck? I don't understand.
He said, your company Steemit still control it. He says, I didn't control Steemit. Yeah, that's where you failed. You should have had some control. Otherwise, you failed at distribution. Either way, you failed, and it's just trying again without owning to your previous failure. Dan responded, sure, I failed, but by giving Ned 51%.
There you go. It's nice to see some honesty in there.
Oh, man, he's a truth bomb. He loves it. He just speaks it.
Well, it would be neat to see some politicians say things like that and really mean it, too,
Somebody commented, lawyers in this space are just slowing down innovation. He said, I prefer to say they are keeping me out of jail.
There's a balance, right? There's a balance.
Why jurisdiction when there is no ICO? Regulatory guidelines are ambiguous, and we have the best legal team working to ensure compliance and approval of regulatory bodies before committing to something that might be interpreted against us. Obviously, in a world without regulatory uncertainty, we could do and say more. That was Dan's comment to why jurisdiction when there is no ICO. But what you mentioned a second ago about BIOS is interesting, because BIOS is going for jurisdictional agility, and that word is all over that paragraph.
So it's like their new platform of EOS.io related tools has more jurisdictional agility, has more jurisdiction knowledge about what can and cannot be done, because hey, everybody's trying to be compliant in the world and meet the compliancy that certain countries are trying to do. So
I mean,
how many other coins are really thinking about jurisdiction at all and or jurisdictional agility? I think this is a leader in the market. Yeah,
I liked what you said yesterday or the other day when you said that EOS.io is the visionary, they're the leader in the industry. And
they're the innovator.
They are the innovator, that's what it was, innovator. Okay, it says people get rewarded for posting content on voice and receive voice tokens, right? What's the total token count going to be? He responded, proportional to daily active users. So I know that you get tokens when you contribute to voice, but I also know that they burn tokens when you, well, I can't remember when they burn tokens, but they do burn tokens, so let's find that out. See, but okay, here it goes. But those voice tokens are then burned and you cannot buy them back. He responded, voice tokens are burned when you voice it.
So that's when they're burned. They're used.
And then you mint new ones to the person below. Is that because you know how the person below gets their tokens back? Well, if you burn them,
you post something,
right?
You post a video, or
I can do that for free,
right? I comment on it.
You can do that for free.
Can I?
I can. You can. You voice it. You pay to get it to the top. Anybody can comment for free.
Voice tokens are burned when you voice it, so it looks like.
But commenting is not voicing it. Voicing it's an action that takes your comment to the top. That's the okay. So that's.
So, but wait a minute. But I take it to the top, right?
Right, and then they burn, and apparently they burn.
Burned. In other words, I can't get it back.
Right.
But somebody voices above me.
Then you get tokens.
Then I get back not the original tokens because they were burned.
Right.
I get back.
Has to be
issued a replacement token and a little bit of interest on top of that.
And I think that's how it's designed, is to step up with the, you know what I mean? Step up. The amount that's going to be distributed is based on contribution, period. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, there's 1 million tokens, go. Because then we'd all get them all and then that would be done, right? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Thinking about people getting paid to talk is pretty awesome.
It is, it is.
Obviously, you know, YouTube and all this stuff out there today is big. But this to be a competitor or replacement is pretty awesome.
There are, you know, because YouTube and they're all censoring, Twitter, you know, they're censoring big time, right?
Of course.
And then this voice won't censor, however, it will. I know he commented that Block 1 still has to abide by the laws. So if, you know.
Like child things, they have to take out stuff that the law says, hey, you know, whether you vote one way or vote this way, all the YouTubers and all the Facebookers, all those employees, they're censoring stuff on base how they feel.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the law.
Right.
Is it legal to say this or not? You know?
That's a whole different story.
So I think he's saying we have to abide by what's on the books, which is called the law.
Right. Right.
But I think whether or not, you know, hurt your feelings because you feel one way or another, so you're not going to post somebody's stuff.
Right.
Is different.
Right.
So hopefully that'll stay out of it.
Okay, so it says, Dan, if I want to use my voice tokens to trade into cash to feed my kids after posting an inspiring post on voice.com, will I be able to transfer those voice tokens into EOS or cash? He said, regulations permitting, I hope so. Boom, right? I love it. Still don't understand, if there is no buy and sell, how marketing teams will play their role when voice becomes huge. And he said there is transfer. And that's where we talked about maybe they'll, you know, if AT&T starts accepting voice tokens, you know, or Verizon's like, hey, you want to pay in voice? We'll take voice.
That's the big flip, isn't it?
Isn't it? You know, there's the token economics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why should we cooperate with regulation? He says you don't have to if you want to risk the consequences. What exactly is the process for authentication? What if someone steals my ID? He said, then we can get your account back. We can get your account back. That's cool. No one can steal your voice without knowing exactly who they are. Unique identity. If someone steals you, they're going to have to. No one can steal your voice without knowing exactly who stole it. You would steal it, right?
I'll have to see how that plays out. That's pretty interesting.
When does a voice token begin to exist? When someone puts or gets likes? He said, every day you act, every post you like, I'll be voicing you. He was just singing a song. Every step you take, you know that song? All right. Has Block 1 even confirmed they are running voice on mainnet, by the way? He said yes. Yay, a product demo would have been appropriate. He said, imagine Steam with a medium editor and much better CSS and no downvotes, MVP. I don't know what that means, do you? The Block One will not pre-mine tokens, question mark. He said, no, there is no pre-mine. You get them through contributing, right? He says, we will release more details in time. The takeaway is that for situations where identity and transparency is important, voice is a solution. There are many such situations. So again, he's saying it's not for everything, but it's for what we need right now, right? All right, the problem says the problem with crypto heads is they want one tool to do everything. Nearly every YubiKey in existence can be used as a secure hardware key. He said, yep.
That's nice.
I didn't understand that part. So if you already have a YubiKey, you can now use it for this?
Yeah.
I thought you had to go buy. I had to go buy a new one that has. Okay, that's pretty slick. Okay, it says you receive something back. Are you supposed to receive something back after signing up? He says we are collecting emails for beta now, and we'll start inviting people slowly at first, and then more quickly as it matures. Somebody said, what's preventing people with money from always drowning out the voices of other people by buying tokens and essentially using more tokens to be above others? He says, when you get bumped, you earn, so you can have more voice somewhere else.
So you voice your opinion or something. Somebody with more voice tokens than you voices above you.
I mean, somebody who just keeps doing that is just contributing more to the system, I would think, right?
And you just got what you had in it plus a little bit more out. And
Is that the inflation? That little bit more? Is that when they talk about?
I think that's what it is.
Okay, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Voice will need to have a space for truth that allows people to speak truth and offer evidence without tying their name to it. People need to feel safe. No one should be put in danger for speaking truth. He says every platform has a niche. You cannot be all things to all people. Boy, you can tell the community expected freaking everything out of B1 June. I mean, if it wasn't Facebook and Donald Trump, they weren't going to be happy, you know?
They wanted an anonymous system where they could scream at each other. We have plenty of those.
Yeah, we have a lot of those. Okay, so another question with this format. Say two accounts just keep out voicing one another, and they are two verified accounts, but running bots on the accounts to basically inflate the voice tokens they earn by just out voicing one another. I know the answer. Voicing isn't powered by inflation. Okay, I thought he was going to say bots aren't allowed. But voicing isn't powered by inflation.
Well, how can a bot not be allowed, you know?
That's true.
It just logs on.
It just
your
could,
ID.
right.
But if you get rid of the anonymous accounts, then that means a bunch of humans have to give up their real IDs to the bots.
I got you. Right, so basically I could create a loop between two accounts to use the tokens I get back and the sum plus sum to keep inflating the plus sum. No, he says no, every voice it burns tokens. Is it almost zero sum? He said negative sum. Can you explain that? I think somebody had questioned, why would you want voice tokens? And he replied, you get visibility, because I remember that one. So to comment or post burns some tokens. He says, no, comment and posting is free. Liking and earning is free. Voice it and promoting is like Pixel Master. Likes pay inflation. Does liking bump the comment or post? Both. If others like my post and revoice it and goes viral, do I earn or pay tokens? Earn, he said. As a business, how can I promote my product on voice? He said, buy voice tokens and voice content. Wow. That's going to end up being the game changer when people start doing that, right? Because then all the people are going to get paid, and I want more of that. Are voice tokens fungible? Yes. Can I invest in content creators? We have a big vision, he said. Voice is just getting started. Will advertisers be able to buy advertisements on the platform using voice tokens that could be burned? Yes. So whales can accumulate a strong voice and then do fake news? He said it's possible, but with identity, there is reputation. So yeah, they can do it, but they're doing it as themselves, right? So guys, great. Voice, great, but what about EOS tokens sitting there quietly losing its use case? It doesn't lose its use case. He said it's being used for its use case of allocating CPU, net, and RAM. Basically, that's
See, it's a utility token. That's what we were talking about.
EOS is a utility,
earlier, right? EOS token is a utility token for developers to go in and create applications, and they need to buy RAM and CPU and all that to make it happen. So many people bought it as an investment, but even Vitalik said Ethereum, not ETH, Ethereum is a platform, and he's been pushing that for a long time. So EOS.io is a platform, Ethereum is a platform, ETH is a token, a utility token sitting on top of Ethereum. So and EOS definitely is more of a utility token because it has RAM and processor, CPU, and network, and I can use this private key, this public key to vote, or I can use this public key to do something simple, not I'm in, I can do everything.
Right.
Which I think is just way more advanced than most things I've seen.
True that. Oh wow. Okay, so wait, Voice will have its own ticker? Voice. Yes, I guess it's Voice, VOICE. Can you have a 5-symbol ticker?
On what? The New York Stock Exchange or Earthling Exchange?
Exactly. There's no rules. Dan, in my mind, is the Holiday. What's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. No more
James
rules.
Halliday.
He said, no more rules.
Yeah.
Let's go backwards really, really, really fast.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Still haven't seen a clear answer if Voice will publish your full government name. Seems like that could be a haven for identity thieves. He says it's the solution to identity theft. Once keys and social relations identify you, anyone relying on public databases of information for identity is at fault for poor security. I like that. You get what he's saying?
No, tell it to me.
All right. Once keys and social relations identify you, anyone relying on public databases of information for identity is at fault for poor security. He's stepping up the game, and people are going to start pointing fingers at other companies that don't do the same, right? If there's a better solution, do you think so? What do you think about that comment?
I'm trying to understand it. I'm rereading it one more time. Once keys and social relation.
But using a public database, yeah, if those kind of things are available is what I see. Once you have keys and you have social network, which is he's trying to create. Anyway, I've heard this conference mentioning the biggest marketing campaign crypto has ever seen. Was that just a rumor? He said it's just beginning. Anyone at the event got a taste of our plans and commitment. Says why not use EOS as the native token on Voice and use Voice token as a standalone token that folks can directly pay content creators. He says we are looking at ways to use any token to voice it. Any token?
I mean, it's future. He's saying.
Okay.
Asking about 3.0.
Right? What is Block One business model behind Voice? We attempted to stay aligned with users. Will Voice have chat functions too? It will evolve over time, he says. Maybe someone asked already, what's the view on censorship? We believe in free speech and don't want to be arbiter of truth. But we must comply with laws on a jurisdiction by jurisdiction basis. Boy, there's that word again, isn't it?
Interesting.
I don't hear any news about Block One wallet. Is it still in the works? He said that's so last week. I hope Voice doesn't overdo it on the graphic design of it. I've seen so many want to be social networks that fail to understand the need for minimalistic design. He says we showed the design. So the design is out, and it is minimalistic, I think. What are the legal steps to prevent Block One to be forced into censorship? He says everything is broadcast and can be hosted by anyone. Would have been a lot easier to at least release a white paper. He says we have one. And he'll have a blog soon. Is Voice a browser-only app to start? Will there be iPhone and Apple TV apps for Voice this year? He says apps are coming, but browser first. That's cool. We must comply with regs if we want to keep our money and freedom. Somebody had said why KYC. Can a project have its own Voice account? For instance, could one tie a Voice account to the identity of a legal corporation or foundation? That was a big question of ours. Yes, but it cannot get free tokens or influence-like rewards. But it can earn and voice it. That's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what the real world does, right? The real world says, are you a human? Do you have a social security card in America, whatever, you know, do you have a birth certificate? Yes or no? Yes, okay. What else are you? Oh, are you an LLC? Are you a corporation? Those are entities under the law of America too, right? So those entities have rights, and they, by the way, humans are born and they also expire, and corporations are born and they expire, or you know, they don't live forever.
Right.
So these things have some abilities, but they're less than a human has. That's pretty interesting.
It is interesting. It just kind of brings up the question, who's speaking for that business? I guess the business has, they're being represented with one unique identity on voice, right? But it's kind of cool because you could say, hey, we'd like to know what this business thinks about a certain topic, or businesses could even take polls amongst each other and actually be accurate.
It's funny because you're going through this framework that he's explaining, basically, and I wonder, you know, has these questions been asked by others about, you know, Pinterest? Does Pinterest do this? Does right? And so this is the framework behind this thing that everybody's trying to decide whether or not they're going to use or not. But basically, he's going to bring out this thing. Right. You can try it. Right. Go elsewhere. Right. But he believes it's going to be pretty popular, so we'll see. Yeah. So I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah, very exciting.